smells like detergent and something heavy, sweet, and distinctly male. The rhythm of his breath slows, and I prop myself up to see if he's asleep. He lies on his stomach with one arm around his head. His eyes are closed and lips parted. For the first time, he looks as young as he is, and I wonder how he really is. Who is he when he isn't Nautilus, isn't an instructor, isn't isn't anything in particular? Whoever he is, I like him. It's easier for me to admit that to myself now, in the dark, after all that just happened. He is now sweet or gentle or particularly kind, but he is smart and brave, and even though he saved me, he treated me like I was drunk. That is all I need now. I watch the muscle on his back expand and contract until I fall asleep. I wake to aches and pains. I cringe as I sit up, holding my ribs, and hook up to the small mirror on the opposite wall. I am almost too sure to myself in it, but when I stand on my tiptoes, I can see my face. As expected, there is a dark blue bruise on my cheek. I hate the idea of slumping into the dining hall like this, but for instruction have stayed with me. I have to mend my friendships. I need the protection of seeming weak. I tie my hair in a knot at the back of my head. The door opens and the four walks in, a towel in hand, and his hair glistening with sour water. I feel a thrill in my stomach when I see the line of skin that shows above his belt as he lifts his hands to dry his hair and force my eyes up to his face. Hi, I say. My voice sounds tight. I wish he didn't. He touches my bruised cheek with just his fingertips. Not bad, he says. How's your head? Fine, I say. I'm lying. My head is dropping. I brush my fingers over the bump, and pain prickles over my scalp. It could be worse. I could be floating in the river. Every muscle in my body tightens as his hand drops to my side where I got kicked. He does it casually, but I can't move. And your side? He asks. His voice calm now. Only hurts when I breathe. He smiles. Not much you can do about that. Peter would probably throw a party if I stopped breathing. Well, he says, I would only go if there was a cake. I laugh and then wince, covering his hand to steady my ribcage. He slides his hands back slowly, his fingertips grazing my side. When his fingers lift, I feel an ache in my chest. Once this moment ends, I have to remember what happened last night, and I want to stay here with him. He nods a little and leads the way out. I'll go in first, he says, when we stand outside the dining hall. See you soon, Tris. He walks through the doors and I am alone. Yesterday he told me he thought I would have to pretend to be weak, but he was strong. I'm weak already. I brace myself against the wall and press my forehead to my hands. It's difficult to take deep breaths, so I can take short, shallow ones. I can't let this happen. They attacked me to make me feel weak. I can pretend they succeeded to protect myself, but I can't let it become true. I pull away from the wall and I walk into the dining hall without another thought. A few steps in, I remember I'm supposed to look like I'm cowering, so I slow my pace and hug to the wall, keeping my head down. Uriah, at the table next to Will and Christina's, lifts his hands to wave at me, and then puts it down. I sit next to Will. I listen here. He isn't anywhere. Uriah slides into the seat next to me, leaving his half-eaten muffin and half-finished glass of water on the other table. For a second, all three of them nice burn. It is not artifice. I like the wincing, I shrug. I believe Thor is warning now. Peter, Drew, and Al were ready to throw me into the chasm out of jealousy. What is so unbelievable about the dauntless leaders committing murder? I feel uncomfortable, like I'm wearing someone else's skin. If I'm not careful, I could die. I can't even trust the leaders of my faction, my new family. But you're just Uriah, purses his lips. It isn't far, 3 against 1. Yeah, and Peter is all about what's fair. That's why he grabbed that other in his sleep and stabbed him in the eye. Christina's short and sexy heart. Although, are you sure, Tris? I stare at my plate. I'm the next Edward, but unlike him, I'm not going to live. Yeah, I say, I am sure. It has to be desperation, says Will. He's been acting, I don't know, like a different person, ever since Stage 2 started. Then Drew shuffles into the dining hall. I drop my toast and my mouth drifts open. Calling him Bruce would be an understatement. His face is swollen and purple. He has a split lip and cut running through his eyebrow. He keeps his eyes down on the way onto his table, not even lifting them to look at me. I glance across the room at 4. He wears a satisfied smile I wish I had too. Did you do that? He squealed. I shake my head. No, someone I never saw who found me right before. I gulp. Saying it out loud makes it worse, makes it real. I got tossed into the chasm. They were going to kill you, says Christine in a low voice. Maybe. They might have been planning on tangling me just to scare me. I lift a shoulder. It worked. Christina gives me a sad look. Will just glares at the table. We have to do something about this, Raya says in a low voice. What, like beat them up? Christina grins. Looks like that's been taken care of already. No, that's pain they can get over, replies Raya. We have to edge them out of the rankings. That will damage their futures permanently. Ford gets up and stands between the tables. Conversation abruptly ceases. Transfers. We're doing something different today, he says. Follow me. We stand and Uriah's forehead wrinkles. Be careful, he tells me. Don't worry, says Will. We'll protect her. Ford leads us out of the dining hall and along the paths that surround the pit. Will is on my left, Christina is on my right. I never really said that I was worried, says Christina quietly. For taking the flag between you when you earn it. I don't know what was wrong with me. I'm not sure if it's smart to forgive her or not. To forgive either of them after what they said to me when the rankings went up yesterday. But my mother would tell me that people are flawed inside should be laden with them. And Ford told me to rely on my friends. I don't know who I should rely on anymore because I'm not sure who my true friends are. Raya, Marlene, who were on my side even when I seemed strong, or Christine and Will, who have always protected me when I seemed weak. When her white brown eyes made me, I nod. Let's just forget about it. I still want to be angry, but I have to let my anger go. We climb higher than I've gone before, until Will's face goes white whenever he looks down. Most of the time I like height, so I grab Will's arm like I need support. But really, I'm lending him mine. He smiles gratefully at me. Ford turns around and walks backward a few steps, backward on a narrow path with no railing. How well does he know this place? He eyes Drew, who trots at the back of the group, and says, "Pick up the pace, Drew." It's a cruel joke, but it's hard for me to fight off a smile. That's it, that is, until Force eyes shift my arm around Will's, and all the humor drains from them. His expression sent a chill through me. Is he jealous? We get closer and closer to the glass ceiling, and for the first time in days I see the sun. Ford walks up a flight accesses the data and presents you with a series of virtual obstacles. Some of the obstacles will be fears you previously faced in your simulations. Some may be new fears. The difference is that you are aware in the fear landscape that it is a simulation, so you will have all your wits about you as you go through it. That means that everyone will be like Divergent in the fear landscape. I don't know, it's that a relief because I can't be detected, or a problem because I won't have the advantage. For continues, the number of fears you have in your landscape varies according to how many you have. How many fears will I have? I think of facing the grouse against and Seaver, though the air is warm. I told you before that the third stage of initiation focuses on mental preparation, he says. I remember when he said that on the first day, right before he put the gun to Peter's head. I wish he had pulled the trigger. That is because it requires you to control both your emotions and your body to combine the physical ability you learned in stage 1 with the emotion mastery you learned in stage 2. To keep a level head, one of the floors and tubes above Force head to tweets and flickers. Force stops scanning the ground of initiates and focuses his stare on me. Next week you will go through your fear landscape as quickly as possible in front of a panel of dauntless leaders. That will be your final test, which determines your rankings for stage 3, just as stage 2 of initiation is weighted more heavily than stage 1. Stage 3 is weighted heaviest of all, understood? Will not, even True who makes it look painful. If I do well in my final test, I have a good chance of making into the top 10 and good chance of becoming a member, becoming dauntless. The thought makes me almost giddy with relief. You can get past each obstacle in one of two ways. Either you find a way to calm down enough that the simulation registers a normal, steady heartbeat, or you find a way to face your fear, which can force a simulation to move on. One way to face a fear of drowning in to swim deeper, for example, force shrugs, so I suggest that you take the next week to consider your fears and develop strategies to face them. That doesn't sound fair, says Peter. What if one person only has 7 fears and someone else has 20? That's not their fault. Force stares at him for a few seconds and then laughs. Do you really want to talk to me about what's fair? The crowd of initiates parts to make way for him as he walks toward Peter, folds his arms and says, in a deadly voice, I understand why you're worried, Peter. The events of last night certainly prove that you are a miracle coward, a miserable coward. Peter stares back, expressionless. So, now we all know, says Ford quietly, that you are afraid of a short, skinny girl from obligation. His mouth curls in a smile. Will put his arm around me. Christina's shoulders shake with suppressed laughter. And somewhere within me I find a smile too. When we get back to the dorm that afternoon, Alistair will stand behind me and holds my shoulders lightly, as if to remind me that he's there. Christina edges closer to me. His eyes have shadows beneath them and his face is swollen from crying. Pain stabs my stomach when I see him. I can't move. The scent of lemongrass and sage once pleasant turns sour in my nose. Tris, says Al, his voice breaking. Can I talk to you? Are you kidding? Will squeeze my shoulders. You don't get to come near her even ever again. I won't hurt you, never wanted to. Al covers his face with both hands. I just want to say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me. Please forgive me, please. He reaches for me like he's going to touch my shoulder or my hand, his face with tears. Somewhere inside me is a merciful, forgiving person. Somewhere is a girl who tries to understand what people are going through, who accepts that people do evil things, and that desperation leads them to darker places than they ever imagined. I swear she exists, and she hurts for the repentant boy I see in front of me.